Hi everyone, I'm Mixter Whispers and I'm out on a little bit of a nature walk right now. Focus. Technically I'm sitting at the moment. I found a really awesome little spot in my local neighborhood to come and just sit and listen to the birds. And I really needed that today. I've been having a really deep, empathetic connection with the mother, and she's going through a lot of shifts right now. And if you're like me, like a lot of other intuitive healers out there, you might be going through some pretty big emotional swings today without understanding where they're coming from. So I wanted to do this self-care check-in to help remind everybody to take a break from what's kind of going on up top in the head there and tune into the emotional side of things. Tune into the side of you that has been crying out to be heard, crying out to express itself, the side of you that needs to speak up, speak out, be strong for yourself and for those that you care about around you. It's not always easy. I've gone through a lot of big emotional kind of leaps and bounds over the past few years, especially in the transition from being what I would call the maiden into what I am now as a mara, which is more than just the mother figure, it's the father figure. Those archetypal energies that are so sterilized when they're taught to us at times, they don't really encompass the true understanding of what those figures and what those roles really mean. Um, the mother, the earth that we walk on, is fighting off an infection, and unfortunately part of that infection is our contribution as a human species. So it's been really important for us lately to be more aware of the impacts we're making on our day-to-day lives and on the long-term life of this planet. There's a lot to be said for taking action now. We are at that critical point. We've heard it from so many people, from so many young children, so many world leaders, scholars and elders and shamans and grandmothers and grandfathers all over the world. We need to listen. We need to stop letting what we know to be wrong keep existing. And we need to find a way to do that in a cohesive, transformative way that doesn't further bloodshed. We have already lost so many people in the past few years, especially with that virus that's been going around. And for those of you that haven't tuned in to that metaphysical, magical side of that virus, you need to pay attention, because that's where the mother comes in. She is trying to fix the problem that is her physical body. She is a system of networks so intricate you can barely begin to understand them. We barely understand the human species, let alone the magnitude of what is the entirety of the species, plants, animals, humans, and more on this planet, in this world that we live in. So I'm going to encourage you today, tomorrow, every day for the rest of your life, to make a commitment to tune into Mother Earth more. It hasn't been easy for me to get to this point. I used to be that person that would stay inside, sleep till noon, find any excuse to be a night owl and to not have to get outside and face the world and reality as it was. And I changed. And it was a hard process, but one that I knew I needed to go through. One that I was called towards for so long. I kept following my instincts, following my path, and here I am now, talking to you as a pagan minister, as somebody that used to be pretty firmly Catholic when I was growing up. My parents raised me with that tradition and that information that I had to deprogram a little bit to be able to get where I am today, make that commitment to making the change that I know is necessary. For me, being a pagan isn't about being what people might assume, like heathen. I'm not trying to destroy the church, even though I do believe she needs to disassemble and learn from her mistakes. I feel like we as a species need to reconnect to what our ancient ancestors we're connected with, and that is the planet Earth around us. We didn't get here overnight. The metal bench I'm sitting on wasn't something that my first ancestors would have even conceived. We have made leaps and bounds, and we will continue to. So be that changing force. Be that balancing out force. Be that voice of reason in this insanity of the world, and realize that the plan is so much bigger than we realize. The truth of it all is so much more complex than we can comprehend, and it's not our place to. There's a reason there is an unknown force in this universe, and we feel it. So let's connect in a little bit more and figure out what's going on inside of ourselves. Be responsible for that. Check in on the self-care. Find some grounding. Peace and blessings, everybody. Have a blessed night.